Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Monday, March 24th. The Pittsburgh Steelers still don't have a quarterback, although I'm a little bit hopeful that this week there will be some news on the Aaron Rodgers front. There doesn't seem like a whole lot more that could happen here. Maybe he'll take another free agent visit. The only one I could see happening is the Giants. I know he is still somewhat interested in hoping that the Vikings have an opportunity for him, but I am just not fruitful of that coming to pass. Hopeful, I should say. But let's talk about what would happen if the Steelers did sign Aaron Rodgers to the team. A excellent story at SteelersNow.com written by my colleague Derek Bell breaks down the X's and O's, the film from Aaron Rodgers last year, what kind of quarterback the Steelers are getting. I want to talk about how he will impact the rest of their offense. And it was a good question on my appearance on the Final Word on Sunday, posed to me by the talented and lovely Jenna Harner, who asked, "Who are the winners and losers, or who helps and hurts the most? Who's helped or hurted the most by an Aaron Rodgers trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers?" And I think the obvious kind of answer is that it helps the wide receivers, and it does certainly. I mean, look, you can look at this wide receiver room, and you can think about the idea of the Steelers playing this very bland offense because they don't trust Mason Rudolph to not turn the ball over, something that he did at a relatively elevated level last year in terms of interceptions. And there's just not being enough touches to go around to make George Pickens and DK Metcalf happy. Also, the kind of touches, I mean, Rudolph is not the same kind of rhythm touch passer, so it would be like a lot of the same stuff for those guys. 3.9% interception rate for Rudolph last year, not particularly good. So I can see that going badly with the personalities of these wide receivers and then being much happier with a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Maybe. I can also see, Aaron Rodgers loves to throw his teammates under the bus. That's what I've heard from everyone I talked to in the New York Jets sphere about him, is that when things don't go wrong, it's everyone's fault but his. How are those guys going to react to that? I wonder. I'm very curious as to how that is going to go. So, I don't think it's necessarily this slam dunk winner. The wide receivers should just be yes. It could be helpful if things go well. It could also be a disaster if things don't go well. I think it's very much up in the air. I think the group that it's a clear positive for is the veterans on the Steelers defense. Signing Aaron Rodgers is a sign that the Steelers think this defense can still be elite. Now, it was 6th in overall defense last year, but I think it fell short of our expectations for it. I think it could have been a lot better than it was, especially down the stretch of the season. And so signing a player like Aaron Rodgers, probably only has one more good year, is a sign that the Steelers believe that this defense can be that unit that we thought they could be. They're giving them the chance to be the unit we thought they could be again, even though they weren't that last year, in a basically similar situation. I mean, the Steelers just did this. They went out and got a veteran quarterback to give the defense the chance to show that they could win by itself. It couldn't. And now they're just giving him another shot. It's Bob Barker on The Price is Right. Hole in one or two, right? There's nothing. I don't see any reason to have that hope. Okay. So it's a big piece of faith in that part of the football to say, you know what, we think we can do it with Aaron Rodgers. Now, who are the losers? Well, obviously Mason Rudolph. I mean, I think that one goes without saying. He is right now in line to get his best opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the NFL yet, although I don't believe the Steelers would go into the season with just Aaron Rodgers or just Mason Rudolph at quarterback. I think they would add to him in some form or fashion, but he would at least be in a competitive situation for that starting job if they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, I believe. So he's the obvious loser. But man, does this put pressure on Arthur Smith. I think that's the guy. And Brooke Pryor from ESPN had an opinion the other day. Says I don't think Arthur Smith asked for this, and I totally agree. Except that I think he kind of did ask for this because I think Arthur Smith is the biggest reason that Russell Wilson is not coming back. the disagreements they had at the end of the season, the way that relationship soured, I think is the big reason Russell Wilson's not coming back. So in some ways he did ask for it, but another way, he definitely did not sign up for this when he took this job, right? Nowhere was managing a player like Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers' future bingo card, nor is it something in Arthur Smith's resume, right? He doesn't have that kind of experience. In fact, you pay Arthur Smith to be your offensive coordinator when you don't have an elite quarterback, right? Because he won with Ryan Tannehill, who just did what he was told. And Arthur Smith had disagreements with Russell Wilson when Russell Wilson didn't just do what he was told. How is it going to go with Aaron Rodgers, who seemingly never does what he's told? I've been told he checked out of plays constantly with the Jets, to the great consternation of their offensive staff. If that was the thing that caused the Arthur Smith-Russell Wilson breakup, how is a guy that we know is going to be significantly, I don't know if worse is the right word to put it, more aggressive in that area, going to fix things? And then he's also got to find a way to keep Rodgers and the wide receivers from being at each other's throats. Now, he's not their position coaches, but that's all under his umbrella. I mean, they say, like, you bring the circus to town, you look like a clown. No, the circus is coming, and Arthur Smith is like the very overworked ringmaster, running around trying to put out 100 different fires all over the place. He just wants to run the ball. He just wants to run the ball. And so I think this puts a lot of pressure on Arthur Smith. And I think the other people it puts a lot of pressure on is the Steelers' offensive line. They've got to find a way to pass protect better than they did last year if you're going to get a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers through a season. He cannot move that well anymore. He did not move that well last year. And I don't see how they can keep him upright if they don't pass protect better than they did last year. So the winners, I guess the whole offense will be better. Like, go read Derek's piece. It's good. Rodgers is a better player. He will be a big improvement to the offense if all the rest of this can get taken care of. I think it's going to happen. I think it just makes too much sense. There's not a better option for the Steelers. There's not a better option for Rodgers. The money doesn't seem like it's going to be a big impediment. It's just coaching, and Mike Tomlin is not going to run away from that. So buckle up. That's all I got for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode of Steelers Morning Rush, Steelers Afternoon Drive, and everything else we've got going on here on the YouTube channel. Go over to SteelersNow.com. Check out the written work, especially that Rodgers piece from Derek. Also dropped over the weekend my story about the free agent offensive line remaining on the market. I will tackle specifically. I'll be diving into another position or so today, talking about post-free agency needs and that kind of thing as we go through the week. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, enjoy.